If you're thinking about moving your family to Vancouver, I'm going to give you 3 reasons why I think you should seriously consider not doing it. And that's probably a strange thing to hear from a Vancouver realtor whose channel is literally called Vancouver Family Living. But Vancouver is an incredibly expensive place to make a mistake. So before you move here or spend well over $1 million buying a home here, I think there are 3 questions every family needs to answer. Because if you get these 3 things wrong, Vancouver can become a very difficult place to raise a family. And stay with me until number 3, because I think that's the one families underestimate the most. It isn't simply the price of the house, it's what owning that house can do to the rest of your family's life. Let's start with some numbers. According to Greater Vancouver Realtors, the benchmark price for a home across Metro Vancouver was just under $1.1 million in June 2026. A townhouse, the type of home a lot of growing families are looking for, was $1.046, and a detached home, $1.842. And remember, those are Metro Vancouver numbers. Once you start looking at specific neighborhoods within the city of Vancouver, the numbers can be dramatically different. So if you're coming from another city in Canada with $1 million budget and thinking you're going to buy a beautiful detached family home in Vancouver, you may be in for a surprise. But price alone isn't a reason not to live here. The bigger issue is what you're getting in exchange for that price. The first reason to not move here is simple. You may not be willing to make the housing compromises Vancouver requires. A benchmark detached home in Metro Vancouver is currently about $1.84 million. Compare that with the benchmark townhouse at roughly just over $1 million and an apartment at about $700,000. That's almost an $800,000 gap between the benchmark townhouse and detached home. For a lot of families, that changes the conversation completely. Instead of asking, which detached house should we buy? The question becomes, are we willing to raise our family in a townhouse? Or could we make a 3-bedroom condo work? And there's absolutely nothing wrong with either of those choices. But you need to understand what you're trading. Maybe you don't get a backyard. Maybe 2 kids eventually share 1 bedroom. Maybe your home office becomes a bedroom when another child arrives. Maybe there's 1 parking stall. Maybe bikes, skis, strollers, and hockey equipment are competing for the same storage locker. These sound like little things when you're touring a beautiful home for 20 minutes. However, they're not little things when you're living there for 10 years. So here's something I encourage families to do. Don't evaluate a home based on only whether it works today. Imagine your family 5 years from now. Where does everybody sleep? Where do you work? Where do the kids play? Where does all your stuff go? And if you have another child, a parent comes to live with you, or you start working from home, does the property still work? If your family fundamentally wants a large detached home, a big yard, and lots of space, and you don't have the budget required to comfortably buy that in Vancouver, there are other communities in British Columbia where your money will go considerably further. There's nothing wrong with admitting that space matters to you. The second reason I would tell a family not to buy in Vancouver is if they're choosing the house before choosing the lifestyle. Families naturally focus on bedrooms, bathrooms, square footage, and price. But once you have kids, your neighborhood becomes part of your home. Where's the school? What's the catchment? Can your kids eventually walk there? Where's daycare? Where's the community center? Where are the parks or the beaches? How long is your commute? Can you walk to groceries? And where do people who matter to you live? Because a beautiful house can become a terrible purchase if your family spends 2 hours every day driving between school, work, daycare, and activities. and childcare deserves special attention. BC has made significant investments in reducing childcare costs. At participating providers, the Childcare Fee Reduction Initiative can reduce full-time fees by as much as $900 per month for an infant or toddler in group care. That's what our family experiences. There are also $10 a day childcare centers where families pay no more than $200 per month per child. That's fantastic. But there's an important catch. Access depends on the licensed capacity and wait list of each participating location. So, there's a daycare nearby, and there's a daycare nearby that actually has a space for my child, are two completely different things. That's why when families are relocating, I think neighborhood research needs to happen before the house search gets serious. Your home is where you sleep, your neighborhood is where your family actually lives. I'd rather see a family buy a slightly less impressive home in a neighborhood that makes sense for their everyday life, and it's easier than stretch themselves into the perfect house in a location that makes every Monday morning miserable. This brings us to reason number 3. The house can make you too poor to enjoy Vancouver, and this is the big one. Do not buy a home in Vancouver if doing so means you can't afford to actually live here, because the purchase price is only the beginning. There's the mortgage, property taxes, home insurance, utilities, repairs and maintenance, strata fees if you're buying a condo or a townhouse, potential special assessments, childcare, transportation, kids' activities, groceries, travel, and everything else that comes with raising a family. It's very easy to get approved for a mortgage and assume that means you can afford the lifestyle that comes with it. These are not the same thing. Imagine 2 families. Family number 1 stretches every possible dollar to buy the bigger house. They're constantly worried about money. They don't travel. Restaurants become a luxury. The kids' activities become difficult to afford. One unexpected repair creates stress. Family number 2 buys the smaller townhouse. Their monthly housing costs are manageable. They ski, they travel, they go out for dinner, they put their kids in activities, they save money, and they actually enjoy Vancouver. Which family is wealthier? That's not a financial planning question I'm going to answer for you. But it's absolutely a lifestyle question you should answer before buying a home here in Vancouver. Now, after spending most of this video telling you why not to buy here, there's something important happening in the Vancouver market right now. Buyers currently have substantially more choice than we've been accustomed to seeing. Greater Vancouver Realtors reported over 17,000 homes listed for sale across Metro Vancouver in June. That's about 30% above the 10-year seasonal average. At the same time, the composite benchmark price was down 6% compared with June 2025. Townhouses were down 5%. Detached homes were down 7.1%. So although Vancouver remains extremely expensive, this isn't necessarily a terrible time to be shopping. More inventory can give buyers something incredibly valuable: options. You may have more opportunity to compare properties, negotiate, and walk away from a home that doesn't make sense. And that's exactly what I think families should be willing to do. So, should families actually avoid Vancouver? Absolutely not. I'm raising my family here for many of the same reasons other families want to come here. The ocean, the mountains, the beaches, the parks, the neighborhoods, the schools, the ability to spend Saturday morning skiing and Sunday afternoon walking along the seawall. Vancouver can offer an extraordinary lifestyle, but it comes at an extraordinary price. And I don't think every family should pay it. You should buy here because you've consciously decided that what Vancouver gives your family is worth what you're giving up to live here. Not because someone convinced you Vancouver real estate always goes up. Not because your friends live here. And definitely not because you're afraid you'll be priced out forever. So before you buy, I want you to answer 3 questions. Number 1, does this home give our family enough space? Not just today, but 5 or even 10 years from now. Number 2, does this neighborhood make our family's everyday life easier or harder? And number 3, after paying for this home, will we still have enough money left to enjoy the life we're moving to Vancouver for? If the answer to any of those is no, don't ignore it. There will always be another property. And here's the final question I think every family should ask before removing subjects on an offer. If we couldn't sell this home for the next 10 years, would our family still be happy living here? If the answer is yes, you're probably looking at Vancouver real estate the right way. I'm Mike Dirks with Vancouver Family Living. If you're thinking about buying, selling, or relocating your family anywhere in Vancouver, reach out anytime. And feel free to subscribe if you want more straightforward information about Vancouver neighborhoods, schools, housing, and what it's actually like to raise a family here. Thanks for watching.